Hello everyone! Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Bold and the Beautiful. Thomas exits stuns Deke steps in as replacement. Bold and the Beautiful presents Deke Sharp Harrison Cohn on the scene. And it seems Matthew Atkinson's cameo as Thomas Forrester has already ended. We'll discuss whether Deacon Sharp's Sean Kanan's son Deke might replace Thomas Forrester at Forrester Creations. Currently, newcomer Harrison Cohn has debuted on B&B as Eric Sharp, Deacon's son. However, his name has been retconned to Deke Sharp, originally named Eric Forrester III at birth due to a paternity lie. He was introduced as Rick Forrester's son. Who is Eric Forrester Jr.? He was believed to be Rick Forrester and Amber Moore's Adrienne France's son. But Deke's true father is Deacon, and his mother is Amber's cousin, Becky Moore. This was a complicated situation, as Amber and Rick's baby died, and Rick was unaware, leading Amber and Becky to pass Deke off as their child. Amidst the lies and deception, Amber was also a victim. Eventually, it was revealed that Deacon was the father. Dek previously went by Little Eric and later Little D, after his true paternity was revealed. Now, it appears the Bold and the Beautiful writers have simplified his name for ease of writing, essentially making him Deacon Sharp Jr. when last seen. Deacon's son was on Young and the Restless, much younger. Seeking funds for boarding school. Now, Deke is in LA, dating Remy Price Christian Weissman, and has just graduated from fashion school, aspiring to be a fashion designer. He's expressed his desire to design at Forrester Creations, where his sister Hope Logan Annika Noel has worked for years. Conveniently, Hope's fashion line, Hope for the Future, is officially back. Carter Walton Lawrence St. Victor suggested to Ridge Forrester Torsten K that they revive the line, citing that their customer base of a certain age is not being met by other successful lines. Hope for the Future had faltered after Thomas left town when Hope rejected his second marriage proposal, leading to poor sales despite trying different designers. Steffi Forrester Jacqueline McInnes had even used this opportunity to cut Hope Logan's line as punishment for her actions towards Finn Finnegan Tanner Novelin. However, Carter has now convinced Ridge that it's the opportune moment to bring back Hope for the Future. Carter eagerly shared the news with Hope, framing it as a grand gesture. Immediately after, he began pressuring Hope to marry him, attempting to replicate Ridge's impulsive proposal to Brooke Logan Catherine Kelly Lang. However, he didn't receive the same enthusiastic reaction. On a recent episode, Carter asked Hope to marry him, and she appeared conflicted. It's possible Carter influenced Ridge to reinstate Hope for the Future as a means to compete with Liam Spencer Scott Clifton, with whom Hope shares a child. While Beth is Hope's biological child, Hope for the Future represents her professional baby. Carter appears desperate, grasping at straws to keep Hope and vie with Liam. He may sense her pulling away and suspect that Hope will call off the wedding, or at least postpone it. Even if she doesn't break up with him this week, this revival coincides with Deke's pursuit of a designer position at Forrester Creations. Previously, Zende Forrester, Dominguez Delanda Metz, and Eric Forrester designed for the line with limited success, as did R.J. Forrester, Joshua Hoffman. However, when Thomas collaborated with Hope Logan, Hope for the Future thrived. Thomas recently returned to L.A., leading to speculation that he might reunite with Hope to work on the line, especially since he mentioned feeling lost without a current design project. However, Matthew Atkinson's return as Thomas was brief, with his name appearing only in the recurring section of the credits before disappearing entirely. Furthermore, in a recent episode, Hope confided in her mother, Brooke, that a reason she could never commit to Thomas Forrester was his involvement in the faked death of baby Beth. This conversation dashed hopes of a Thomas Hope reunion for the line. It appears Matthew Atkinson's return was solely for those few episodes, and he may be gone for good. The writers may have needed one of Taylor Hayes' Rebecca Budig children in L.A. to react to Brooke and Ridge's remarriage. But Jacqueline McInnes Wood's maternity leave prevented Steffi from being available. Thomas' reaction, though initially intense, ended with a hug with Brooke Logan, signifying the end of that storyline. This suggests Thomas will not be the designer for the revived Hope for the Future. With Eric and Zende not excelling in the role, and RJ seemingly disappearing from the narrative, Hope needs a designer for her line. Her brother Deke is now in town. Deke has already asked Deacon to put in a good word with Brooke, which he agreed to. Deacon also encouraged Deke to reach out to Hope, and it's likely she'd welcome her brother working with her on her line. While Ridge might initially object to Deacon's son working at Forrester Creations, Hope and Brooke could likely persuade him. Deke is not his father, and one cannot choose their parents. With Zende occupied with other company lines, Hope would likely appreciate her brother's design contributions. Everything seems to be aligning for Deke to replace Thomas at Hope for the Future, potentially meaning Taylor's son won't be seen for a while in a world where unexpected twists keep viewers glued to their screens. The Bold and the Beautiful has once again delivered a shockwave. Thomas Forrester's sudden departure has left fans reeling and the characters scrambling, with Hope, Ridge, Steffi, and the rest of the Forresters thrown off balance. The question burning across offices, design rooms, and living rooms alike is, who fills the void Thomas leaves behind? And unexpectedly, one name has floated to the surface: Deacon Sharp. What could this mean for Forrester Creations, Hope for the Future, and the crumbling emotional structure of those tied to Thomas? Is Deacon really poised to step in, not just as moral support, but as a major replacement in the fashion house or Hope's life? Let's dive into the fallout and the possibilities. Thomas Forrester vanishes without warning in true soap fashion. Thomas' exit came at the peak of emotional upheaval. After Hope put the brakes on their future and Ridge continued to apply pressure about the family legacy, Thomas made a decision no one saw coming. Whether he left town to gain clarity, reassess his path, or avoid sinking into old patterns, his departure sends shockwaves through Forrester Creations. The timing couldn't be worse. Hope for the Future was finally regaining its footing thanks to Thomas' creative resurgence. Ridge had just begun to rebuild professional trust in his son. Even Steffi, once his harshest critic, was starting to see Thomas as stable and reliable. Now, the design office is empty, the sketchbooks are closed, and Hope is left without the one designer who consistently delivered her brand's identity. Hope Logan's world spins out. Hope has been through heartbreak before, but this exit is different. She wasn't ready for him to disappear, not personally and not professionally. Even after pulling back emotionally, she still relied on Thomas as the visionary fueling her line. Without him, her voice in the company is suddenly shaky again. Brooke is concerned. Liam is suspiciously silent. And Steffi, she's already calculating the ripple effect. Hope is now at a crossroads, and Deacon, of all people, might be the one stepping closest to her in the aftermath. Ridge scrambles to contain the fallout. Ridge has two priorities: maintain Forrester Creations' image and preserve his family's legacy. Without Thomas, Ridge faces the uncomfortable reminder that the dynasty doesn't always run as smoothly as he paints it. He's already fielding questions about who will take over Thomas. Workload and fast. Several names have been whispered. Zende, talented, ambitious, but untested under this kind of pressure. Eric, a legend, but still recovering physically and taking a reduced role. Hope, herself creative, but not a designer by trade. Deacon Sharp, unexpected, but not out of the running. If desperation leads to innovation, Ridge would never choose Deacon. But business has a way of forcing the unthinkable. Deacon Sharp, opportunist or anchor? Deacon has steadily evolved from troublemaking con to business owner with ambition. His restaurant is thriving. His relationship with Brooke is cordial, and his bond with Hope is stronger than ever. And now, with Thomas gone, Deacon walks in as the one person willing to step up emotionally and logistically when others hesitate. He doesn't design tea, but he does understand branding, hustle, and chance staking. He could easily collaborate with Hope on a fresh direction for the line, or help her find a new partner who respects her vision. Some insiders whisper that Deacon might even pitch himself as a temporary consultant to protect Hope for the future from collapsing. Ridge would balk. Brooke would hesitate. But do they have much choice? And if Deacon swoops in to help Hope stay afloat, it could create a rift with Ridge wider than ever before.